if you look at this, this is this is an internal user, right? Which is also different from this. So this guy that I created already, this Richards that I created already, if I click on this, I've already created Richards now. Okay, so Richards is using Gmail by gmail.com. But if I check on my tenants, Richard is not here. So there's no way Richard can access the application. So Richard has to exist in the tenant and also exist in the application so that the application can be able to synchronize was the application check and see if I try to because if you want to log into an application, you see a Microsoft a login page. So once I click that, it will check the tenant, it will check enter ID for that user in order to do two things: to authenticate and authorize the user. Okay. Now, if you check, it doesn't see the user, it will give it to throw an error. So we have to create that user. We have to make sure that the user exists here. But remember, I told you there are two ways: one, internal user and external user. So I have to invite, because user already exists somewhere, I have to invite that user into my tenant. Okay, I have to invite the user into my tenant. So I have to go over here and click on invite an external user. See, it's saying an external user. So if I'm creating a user in my organization, which is my tenant, is going to be an internal user. But if I am inviting an external user, since it's an external user that exists in another tenant, I have to invite him. I cannot create him because it's already existing somewhere. So I have to invite him. So I'm going to invite Richard that's already existing in gmail.com. Okay. So I'm going to say, what's the name? His name is Richard, as in his email address is Richards Okiemute at gmail.com. Okay, so what do I want it to show? I want to show as Richards Dynamics. Okay, all right, so I'm going to say hello. Could you kindly accept my invite to be a part of our development? This is 5 and who development team to have been this system for oh, thank you. Okay, so if I want to see any other person, I can do that, but I don't think that's necessary here. Okay, so I can now invite Richards. Okay, so Richard is going to come into this tenant as a guest, which is an external user. Okay, so I'm inviting Richard now already. So he's not telling me that I've successfully invited Richard, but Richard has not accepted my invite here. So let's go and see if Richard's we receive any email address or anything. Let me go and check my. Okay, so let me check my Gmail.com. I might have to take this off because this is going to take a little bit of time though. Because okay, now this has already come here. Um, okay, so I just received this from. It's telling me Richards ERP. So this is the domain. This is richardserp.onmicrosoft.com. And then it's telling me, hello, Charles, could you please accept my invite to be part of the Doomside development team? You have been assigned a system admin in the application. Thank you. I might decide to ignore if I don't want to be, but I want to. So I just click on accept. So I'll click on accept, and um, that's all I need to do. I just click on accept, or I can decide to follow this link to the tenant. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. So the same thing. I just click on accept. Okay. So once I do that, what is going to happen on the other, what is going to happen here is that once I refresh it, it is going to show me that Richard already accepted, and so Richard is a guest. Okay, now it's going to tell me whether Richard is existing in an on-premises system or not. So in this situation, is not existing in on-premises system. Okay, so if we come over here, we can see that we have been able to achieve we invited the user into the tenant, and also the user still exists inside the application right now. So what to do is to try to see the user access the application. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the link. This is the link of the application. There's so much to there's so much to do, but I think we're already running out of time. I'm so sorry. So I'm just gonna see if Richard. I'm already logged in here as Richards though. I'm already logged in here as Richards. So I'm already logged in here as Richards. This is my uh Charles, and you can see this is the name that I gave on that tenant. Okay. So I'll just put the name of the application. I'll just put the link of the application here and see if we can log into the application. Oh, okay. Da, 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 da. Okay. So I forgot to add this to it. So I need to add that so that you're able to recognize the domain. Okay. So it was telling me that it could not recognize me because I didn't have this domain to it. So let's try again and see if that's gonna work. I hope it has been
Hi,
nothing.
Richards.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry to disturb, but do you mind checking your WhatsApp message?
Okay. Ah, okay. So let's see. Yeah, this is gonna log into the application right now. All right. So yeah, we succeeded. We logged into the application, and this is Richards. And since I have this role, you can see. Yep. Okay. So I have the system admin role, so I can see everything. I can even see what we created that time on the other. I can see this one. Where is it? The Dynamics workspace. Dynamics workspace. Oh, where is it? The I can't see where are you? Where are you? Let me refresh this. Refresh. Okay, so we succeeded in logging into the application. I need to round up now. uh, even this slide that I have can take the whole day. Okay, so what I want to do is just to run through a couple of things because I said I was going to talk about LCS, right? Which is one of the most important part of the application, right? I'm going to talk about that, and so I'll just run through. We have 5 more minutes left. I'm just going to run through that, and then open the floor for to ask questions and just close up. So there's a whole lot of things because I have like some other things to show before, but I don't think time will permit, right, for us to do all of these things. But let me just go to the LCS portal so you can see how LCS looks like. So I'm going to go to LCS, the dynamics.com, and say that it's actually at the top. So just click on that, and then on load. Or you're just going to log me in. Why? Come on, load. Come on, there's no time. Right. So while it's loading, I'm just going to. Okay, now this is LCS, right? This is LCS. It's showing that I actually deployed this project, right, in the United States. On region is United States. This project is deployed in United States, and this is the project which is called the LCS Richards ERP, right? So I'm not, I won't be able to talk about all of this thing because there's no time. But this is just LCS, right? It's where you do all your deployment, all the other things, and you can see that I already have I have the system that I just logged into right before is called Richards ERP system, right? So I clicked on it, and it's going to show me like, let me just use the word like, it's going to show me what is happening at the back, right? It's telling me that okay, I have an application which is Dynamics 365, which is version 30 10.0.038. This is the name of the environment. This is the person that deployed it, and this is also the administrator, right? I'm trying to hurry up a little bit. This is the name of the administrator. The state of the environment is deployed. If you want to log in, you can log in through here if you want. And it's also showing me that I have a VM, a developer VM, right? If I want to, I can click on this. It's going to download the RODP file. I can just call that um, dev VM RODP. Okay. Um, so, okay, can you give me like extra minutes? Let me just go through a little bit of things, please. Okay, so these are the login details, right? These are the login details for this VM that is hosting this application because it's a cloud hosted environment. Okay, now if I want to stop I can actually I can I can manage the application from here, right? You can see that at this side we have. Let me try to reduce this a little bit more. Okay, you can see that at this side we have the access to the database, right? We have access to the database. So these are SQL server login for the admin or the SQL deploy user, the person that deployed the application, and all those things, right? So if you scroll down here, you can see updates that I told you about, different updates that Microsoft has, and service updates and quality updates, right? And if you want to monitor the environment, you can also check for diagnostic data. You can click on environment monitoring. Okay, stop this. Stop this here. You can click on environment monitoring. I want to open this another page. Okay. So while that is actually going on, I want to try to see if I can RDP into the application and show you more things because I said I was going to show you about the database and also the Visual Studio. Okay, in case you're working on the technical, you should be able to know those things as well. Okay, so I'm going to open this. While that is opening, let me check this. Okay, so this is like the monitoring parts. How I got here was that I scroll to the bottom of it and then I click on environment monitoring. I open this in another page, right? So what this part is actually showing you, this shows you the user load, right? Oh, come on. This stuff is being caused by cache, but I'll just close it. This shows you the user load in the environment. This shows your activity is a clean environment, so there's basically nothing here. And you have you have SQL Insights. You have SQL Insights tab, right? Let's see if this stuff is still happening. So you have the SQL Insight tab. This SQL Insight tab is where you have to see stuff that are actually happening in the database. So you can check all the SQL activity that's happening. You have index analysis, you have Earth metrics, Right, so this environment is new, so you shouldn't bother about checking all any of this thing here because there's actually nothing here. So we have raw logs, we can check different type of log, different type of query you want. You can run this query here and all that. So LCS is actually very large. You can't rush and teaching LCS like this. But anyway, I said I want us to log into the application and see how. Okay, so when I downloaded the RODP, when I click on this RODP, it brought out the RODP file. Hope I still have this password. So I'm going to click on connect. So it's going to ask me for my username and then it's going to ask me for my password, right? And I'm going to go back to this place and get this information that is asking me for. Okay, I'm going to get this for the username, right? Since I want to log in as admin, I'm taking the admin user. I'm going to put that here. Okay. I've already elapsed the time, but um, so I just want to run through this so that I can show us how to log into. Uh, okay, how to log into the. Come on, go to here. Don't you there? So it's logging into the VM, right? Going into the VM right now. Okay, why that is going on? Okay, let me just wait. So let me just wait until it finishes. Okay, it's done. So I'll just click on yes, and it's gonna take me into the VM. Okay, so it's configure remote sessions and all this, right? So currently I'm in the VM right now. So I'll soon round up, right? I just want this to show up, right? And so this is the VM. This is the VM that's hosting the application. Okay. So this is the VM that's hosting the application. So if I want to, let's say if I want to, come on, what's happening? So if I want to access the DB of this application, okay. So right now you can see there's Visual Studio 2019 here. All right. So this I'm going to open that, but I'm not satisfied. I'm also searching for something else. Okay. Uh, searching for SSMS. Where? Okay. So if I want to do anything on the database, right? I have to check. Let me do one thing at once. Let me close this first. I'll close this one. Close this. So the reason why it's taking time is because I newly deployed this application and I have not actually accessed all of this before. So I'm trying to access it for the first time. So it's like taking a little bit of time to set up some stuff. But I just wanted to run through and just show you like how the database looks like for the application, right? And the Visual Studio, right? So basically, once you enter into the VM, you can search for Visual Studio, right? And or XSMS. So I am accessing. This is the SQL Server. So all I have to do is just to click on connect, right? Because I logged in as the admin, so it just populated those information there. So I can, and I'm using the Windows authentication. So it's going to use the admin credential that I used to log into the application to connect to the database, right? So is it just gave me an access. I connected to the database right now. Okay, so you can see if I click on this database and then I drop down, you can see we have we have different databases, right? But they serve for different purposes, right? This AXDB is the main database, structured database for the application. So this DW is a warehouse for reporting. We have your different Power BI reports and all of this stuff. So this one is for all those SSIS reports and all those different things. So most of the times you carry out your queries on transactional database, usage structured database, right? So you can maybe just open a new query, and if you want to check, you can just say use AX, or you can say UAXDB. It's just going to populate the AXDB there. Right, so that's if you want to run any query against AXDB, so it's going to populate AXDB there. So just to show you like a couple of things or how you actually use like how you use the MySQL against the application itself, right? So sometimes you might want to see what is actually happening on the DB of a particular form that you're looking at, right? So let me just try to go into the application again. So let's say for instance, this is a user table. So this is a form that is showing the user table, right? It's showing all the users in this place, right? So you can actually access this same stuff in the DB, but what you have to do is first of all you need to know the name of the table that you're probably working with, right? Let's see if you can get that name here. How do I get that name? Okay, so I click on this form. Okay, so we have 2 more minutes left. So basically, like I said before, that this application is so large, so large that you can actually you can actually use like you can how would I say it? You can so like you can continue studying like building or developing a career on this application for years and you still would not like I don't think anybody knows. I'm confident nobody knows how to use this application to the end. Even if person has 30 years experience, it doesn't. So it's something that you need to continuously learn, and all of those. Okay. So if I want to, like I was saying, I have 2 more minutes. I just want to just check something. Let's check something in database. So I just want to see how this same table looks like on the database. I can just go to the data source, right? This is called the user info table. So I can just go into my VM and then I can say select from this table. Let's see if it will give us that stuff here. So so this is actually the same table that you're seeing, right? That you saw on the surface, but right. But on the surface, they only collected what is needed for you to see, for you to look, for it to appear very nice. But once you're troubleshooting issues and all of that, you need to go deeper than what you're seeing on the surface. You need to go deeper than what you're seeing just here on the surface like this. Okay. Ah, it's 9:10 already, so I am just going to stop here now, and then you can ask your question if you ask any question. Okay.